Another car dog garage video. I want to try this. And today, guys, I have some very sad news. 2 years ago, I built this engine right before school started. And I wish I could have done the video better, but I didn't. But that's when I was first starting out my YouTube channel, kinda. And I spent, this is about a $500 engine, and started burning some oil is the bad thing. So what I'm going to be doing in this video is taking the motor apart and figuring out why it's smoking. Most likely piston or piston rings. And then I'm going to go to Go Power Sports and order a flat-topped piston to go with the stroker rod and bump up the compression ratio even more. So I'm gonna get to tearing this engine apart. So first off, I'm going to take this off, take the torque converter off, and put it on the table where I built it. So let's get into it. Okay, so we got the engine on top of the table. What we're going to be doing first is removing exhaust, carburetor, gas tank, shroud, and then I'll talk to you what we're going to do next. Okay, now I got all the stuff off right now. Now I'm going to be pulling the side cover and the head, and we're going to be pulling the rod off and pull the piston out. Right now I gotta go to a dentist appointment and brush my teeth really good and floss them before so they don't go aggressive on them. So yeah, but anyways, I'm gonna go to a dentist appointment, and then we're gonna go do that. Okay, so I'm back from the dentist, back from my job, and I just realized we need to drain the oil out of this, so I'm gonna drain the oil and then do all that. Okay? Yeah. Okay guys, so I'm actually really happy because all that was wrong was a blown head gasket. And you can see right there, right where my nose is, that is an oil port. And it was just literally just feeding into the engine. And so I don't even know if I even want to bother tearing it any farther down. I'm actually really happy because the camshaft actually looks really good. I haven't been running zinc in my engine and it looks amazing. Actually really happy about that. I am concerned about one thing, and that is the rod bearings. When I first was building this engine, I had to clearance the crankshaft and I did not clean it up before I checked it. And I put a lot of garbage through, I put a lot of like sand through that and rotated it around a few times. So I will be taking that off. I do have the original torque spec sheet, so I'm going to pull it out, just check the piston and see if I actually do want to put a flat topped piston. But I am actually really excited because I don't have to, this engine's okay. And that actually really makes me feel good because I was 12 or 13 years old going over to junior high, building an engine, put $500 into this engine. I'm really excited that it's okay after 2 years and hard abuse. So I'm excited. I'm going to be pulling the rod out and the piston and just checking that out. And then once I get the necessary parts, I'm going to be cleaning everything up thoroughly and then installing everything again. So, alright, let me pull this rod out and hopefully the bearings are okay. I don't remember the state I left them in. Okay, so I pulled the piston and rod, and the rod bearings don't look ideal. I'll have to ask my dad about them. But other than that, I did notice when I pulled the head off that the head gasket has worn away at the material. This head, I might be looking for new engine because I also have some scratches on the crunching it, but crankshaft looks good. That doesn't look the best, and that's not good. So I might be looking for a new engine and rod bearings. So I don't know, this might be on the end of the video. I'll get back to you. Okay, so it's been about a week or two now since I last saw you. And this has been puzzling me because that is lost metal and that is lost metal. If we try and weld it, then it might work. And my cylinder doesn't look the greatest. So what we're actually going to be doing is pulling this billet flywheel off and take the valve springs out of this, and that we are going to be putting all of my parts into this engine. This engine, since it is a Hemi motor, and all those parts would fit in there. Okay? So I'm going to be taking my stroker billet rod. I got new bearings and a new head gasket and head studs. I'm going to be taking my cam, stroker rod, my intake manifold, my valve springs, head gasket, billet flywheel, and putting it into that motor. Then this motor will go back together stock, and we will JB weld those two pieces. So I'm gonna just snap, and the other one is going to be on this table. You ready? Wait, hold up. You ready? Okay, hold up. All right, so we got this motor on the table from my other goat cart over here that I'm selling. So also that sneak peek. So first things first, let me pull the exhaust, air filter, fuel tank, shroud, and then we'll get into the internals. So let's just do it. Okay, so I don't know if you saw that, but the oil can dropped and I had a whole mess. So anyways, I got the side cover off without tearing the gasket, thankfully. Everything looks good. I'm going to have to switch over the governor arm. I'm gonna have to take the governor out, pull the low oil cutoff out, and tap and put that hole back in, and then pull the can. I'll just get back. I need to go right now. Go somewhere right now, so I'll get back to you in just a second. So okay, so I'm back. So what we need to do is pull the flywheel off, pull the head off, camshaft out. We need to pull the rod off and crankshaft out. Then we need to do a low oil cutoff sensor, governor. Then we need to swap the governor arms because the other one has a cutoff arm, and I'm going to be, I don't know. So yeah, let me just get into it. So yeah. Okay, so what you saw me do was pull that little annoying clip in there off the governor, pulled it out, and then I also pulled off the low oil cutoff switch. So got all that. What I need to do now is put a bolt in there and cut the arm off this guy. So words. So I can basically put it back together when I'm ready. All I need to do is just pull the flywheel off that, and then I'm just gonna start getting some work done on this thing. So let's just get into it. Okay, so last night my camera died. Happens a lot. And what I got done is I tapped both holes and put a bolt in with a crush washer and red Loctite, and I put the low oil cutoff into that, and then yeah. So now I'm going to be pulling that rod off and putting it in there, and then putting that rod in there, and then I'm just gonna keep going on this. So okay, so I knew this issue was gonna come across, so let me show you. Here, let me turn this fan off so you can hear it. So on my old motor, I had to clearance the crankshaft for the cam lobe. So if you listen, you can hear the crankshaft coming in contact with the cam. One revolution. Can't do this one-handed. Hear that? So, one revolution, and there you go. So, I didn't torque the rod or anything, so because I knew this was going to happen, and I'm not going to make the mistake of not cleaning off the crankshaft with brand new bearings. So, I'm going to be pulling the crankshaft out and clearancing it. So, yeah, let's do it. Okay, so after taking some metal out of the crankshaft, there's no knocking, no nothing, so I'm going to pull the side cover off, pull the cam out, torque the rod, and then I will pull I'll put lifters in, put the camshaft back in, and then we can put the head on, flywheel, and then everything else. So let's get this done because my camera's almost out of storage, so. Okay, so I'm about to run out of battery and I gotta go. So I got everything on the bottom end done. All we need to do now is clean up that surface, put our flywheel on and put our head on, and then put everything else on. I gotta go, so I'll see you in a second. Okay, so you might notice something a bit different. I got the flywheel on. It's not tightened. I need to remember that. And that motor, I started putting it back together. I bet you guys don't want to see me literally put the same exact thing back together. Anyways, so what I'm gonna need to do now is clean up that surface, spray the head gasket with some copper stuff, let it dry. This one I let dry and it looks good. So put that Jonathan right there, and then we're going to coat that, put the studs in. We first need to clean this off, and then I'm going to put the head on, take that spark plug out, put the better spark plug in, and I'm gonna put everything back together. I'm just gonna do it. Alright. Okay, so hopefully that clip didn't delete, but if it did, here's what happened. I got I put copper gasket maker on the head gasket, and then I put the head gasket on after it dried, put the studs in, and I just barely tightened them. I need to torque them, and then I'll put the push rods in, and then I'll loosen up the valves, and then I'll put everything else on. So I'm just going to continue and hope that that saves. So alright, well, my camera's being weird, but anyways, I got the valves adjusted, I got the valve cover on, I got the spark plug on, I got the coil gapped, I got the flywheel torqued with yeah, torqued. And now all I need to do is put it all back together. So I'm gonna do that if you guys aren't heard me said that for the 12th time. Okay, since you're seeing me editing this video, you could tell there's something wrong. And so what happened was a file became corrupt and I can't copy it onto a folder. And then it just won't, it's corrupt. So I can't take that file into this video. And so what we did in that clip is basically torque the flywheel on and put the shroud on and a heat shield and the intake manifold. But turns out the intake manifold was upside down. So you'll see the rest of that in a second. So see ya. And that is it, guys. We have this thing all put together. I got a test throttle cable. All I only need to do is fill it up with oil, which I don't believe I have enough. Yeah, I don't have enough at all. So I'm going to fill it up with the stuff I do have, and then we are going to try and test it out when I do have oil. Unless this is enough. Hopefully it is, so. Yeah, I'm gonna fill this up. Okay, so ended up I did not have enough oil, but that's probably good because I don't think the neighbors want this hog of a thumper to be waking them up. So, I will see you when I have oil. Okay, so we got some oil with some ZDDP for this fresh motor, so it will eliminate most of the major cam wear. So I'm gonna fill this thing up with oil and a little bit of zinc, and then we are going to start this motor up. So okay, so we got the motor all full of oil, and it is time to fire this thing up. So That is one heat cycle completed. Okay, so we just did a 10-minute heat cycle on it. Turns out the drive cup, the starter cup, I'm guessing isn't the right one. On my old motor it worked, on this motor it doesn't, so I'm gonna have to pull that drive cup off and put it on that guy and swap them. And hopefully that drive cup will work on this. So I did actually hear about Cars and Cameras running into the same problem at one point in time on doing one of their stage 2 builds, but this thing is mean. I still need to do a lot of carburetor tuning. I never got it quite right, but now that I got basically a fresh brand new motor, I definitely will be getting that carburetor dialed in and making the maximum amount of power I can. Let's check the oil. It will be scalding hot, so watch your eyes. Oh, look at that, brand new. All the real metal is on the bottom, but I'm gonna let that cool down, and then I'm gonna take it for another heat cycle, and then I'm gonna put this thing on it, and that'll be the end of the video. Okay, so it has cooled down to the touch. Now we are going to put another heat cycle on it, so we're just going to do that. Hopefully this drive cup will work for the moment. That's fun. Woo! That is a spicy motor. Wow, I'm deaf. Whoopa! 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 Alright, well, this thing's an animal. I am going to let that cool down. And just like this, it is going to be on the chassis. You ready? You ready? Alright, so we got it all back together. We got chain on, torque converter on, we got throttle cable, we got this on, even though we still need to tighten up the clamp. we got everything basically dialed in. So I can't test it tonight, so that's all for now. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. If you want to see me build this motor, go check out my YouTube channel at Cardog Garage. And I will see you later. Peace. Thank you so much for watching this video. You guys really mean a lot to me, and you have made all this possible. Thank you. Peace.